Jenna Dinger packed with excitement, her pregnancy glowing in every movement. With the sun rising over the horizon, she and her husband, Marcus, prepared for a weekend camping trip to Joshua Tree National Park. It was a spontaneous adventure, a farewell to the world of just the two of them before welcoming their first child into the world. The couple had always cherished their time in nature, each trip written into the fabric of their love story, a narrative woven with stars, campfires, and laughter. The sunlit kitchen was filled with anticipation as Jenna sorted through gear, the vibrant blue of her sweater complementing the warmth of her smile. Marcus, sturdy and patient, loaded the camper van with their supplies, the whir of the engine and the crinkle of packing tape echoing the rhythm of their shared life. "Are we ready for the last adventure before baby?" Marcus teased, an affectionate glint in his eyes as he looked up from behind the open door of the camper. "Absolutely. Just need to grab the last few things." Jenna called back, her voice laced with excitement and a hint of nervous energy. They took a moment to capture their anticipation, a selfie framed by the kitchen window, sunlight catching the joy in their eyes. Jenna's round belly was easily visible, a testament to the life growing within her. They shared the photo with Chloe, Jenna's sister, who had been endlessly supportive throughout the pregnancy journey. "Love you," Jenna texted alongside the image, her heart fluttering as she imagined her sister's smile in response. After a final check, they set off, the open road stretching ahead like a promise. With each mile, they felt the weight of daily life receding, replaced by the thrilling unknown of the desert landscape awaiting them. They talked about their dreams, plans for their little family, and the beauty of the stars they would gaze upon that night. Upon arriving at Joshua Tree, the couple was instantly enchanted by the stark beauty of the landscape, giant boulders, ethereal Joshua trees, and an expanse of blue sky that seemed to hum with possibility. They parked a secluded site, the van a beacon of safety amidst the wild terrain. The sight of their lime green tent flapping gently in the breeze was inviting, like a welcome mat into a world solely theirs. "Here we are, home sweet home for the weekend," Jenna declared, her eyes sparkling as she fanned out a colorful picnic blanket. Marcus grinned as he unpacked the camping gear with practiced ease. "Let's set up before the sun decides to call it a day." As they worked side by side, their laughter mingled with the sounds of nature. The rustling leaves and distant calls of birds became their soundtrack. The sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the horizon in shades of pinks and oranges. Once everything was in place, they sat together in their camp chairs, marveling at the beauty unfolding before them. "This is perfect," Marcus said, his gaze sweeping over the breathtaking view. "A chance to reset and connect before our lives change forever." Jenna nodded, a sense of peace washing over her. "Just us and the desert. It feels magical." The daylight faded, and with it came the cool desert air. They lit a campfire, its crackling flames casting flickering shadows on the nearby rocks. Over roasted marshmallows and laughter, they shared stories of their early adventures together. The first camping trip, the first hike, and the unforgettable moments that had shaped their bond. Just as the stars began to blanket the sky, Jenna pulled out her phone to capture one last moment. "Let's send Chloe a pic," she suggested. "Great idea," Marcus agreed, an amused smile playing on his lips at how often their lives were intertwined with her concerns. They posed, Jenna perched on a rock with her back slightly arched to showcase her rounded belly, sparkle of her eyes reflecting the starlit sky above. Marcus knelt beside her, his arm wrapped protectively around her shoulders, beaming with pride and love. Once they sent the photo with a message about their beautiful backdrop, Jenna sighed contentedly. "The desert is beautiful. Love you." As the night wore on, they traded stories and dreams wrapped in the soft embrace of the desert darkness. The world felt expansive, and in those moments, nothing seemed more important than each other. That night, enveloped by the stars, Jenna felt as if time stood still. She drifted off to sleep, the sound of the wind harmonizing with the rhythm of their gentle breaths. But as dawn approached, the sun crept silently over the horizon, bringing with it an unsettling stillness. The golden rays fell across the campsite, illuminating the pristine rectangle of their picnic blanket, and for the first time, it seemed eerily quiet. As the hours slipped by, the stillness became unsettling. In her home far away, Chloe awoke to an empty silence that gnawed at her. The previous day's excitement felt like a distant memory. She glanced at her phone, half expecting to see a message from Jenna, but the screen remained blank, the stillness pressing down on her chest. Okay, they're probably just sleeping in, she murmured to herself, necessity guiding her reasoning. Maybe they lost track of time. Maybe they went on a hike. The new Starlink connection would ensure they were still in touch, she reassured herself. But as noon slipped into the afternoon, an ache of worry began to settle in. Jenna promised to check in, and it was unlike her to miss a call. Unable to shake the dread, Chloe picked up her phone and dialed Jenna's number. The call went straight to voicemail. Her heart raced as she tried Marcus' number next, only to be met with the same result. A growing feeling of conviction that something was terribly amiss. The ghost of the happy photo flickered across her mind, the smiles frozen in time, now haunting her. She pictured the vast wilderness surrounding them, wondering if they had ventured too far, if the vastness of the desert had swallowed them whole. Why didn't they at least drive somewhere with a cell signal, she thought, frustration mingling with fear. By sunset, the knot of dread in her stomach was too tight to ignore. Hands trembling, she searched for the non-emergency number of the National Park Service. I think my sister and her husband are overdue for a check-in, she said into the phone, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. They should have contacted me by now. It's been more than a day. The ranger assured her they would send someone out to check the campsite, his calm demeanor both comforting and ominous. With each passing moment, Chloe felt time slip away, a thin thread of hope unraveling. The park rangers arrived as twilight enveloped the park. 2 seasoned rangers, armed with radios and flashlights, navigated the well-trodden paths. They'd seen too many cases like this, adventurers getting lost in the wilderness, nature's wild beauty often contrasting starkly with the harsh realities of survival. As they traveled deeper into the park, each turn of the road brought with it a sense of urgency. Chloe's words echoed in their minds. A pregnant woman and her husband, overdue for a check-in. The rangers' practice efficiency was tinged with the anxiety that accompanies unknown circumstances. When they reached the secluded campsite, it appeared just as serene as the last image Chloe had sent, a picturesque tableau that could hardly suggest the undercurrents of fear lurking behind it. The sun was setting, painting the sky with deep oranges, but there was no sound to be heard. No bubbling laughter, no crackling fire, just the whisper of the wind to the creosote bushes. They called out, "Mr. Dinger, Mrs. Dinger." Their voices echoed into the vast emptiness, swallowed by the ever-watching desert. They approached the camper van, its white exterior stark against the vibrant environment. The doors were locked, and the tent stood quietly zipped shut, unusual for a couple eager to enjoy the pleasures of the outdoors. "Let's check inside the tent," one ranger suggested. As they unzipped the flap, the beam of their flashlight revealed a disconcerting sight. 2 empty sleeping bags neatly laid out, untouched. Panic began to seep in. They circled the campsite, confusion growing with every passing moment. The camp chairs were perfectly angled toward a cold, unlit fire pit, devoid of the laughter and camaraderie that should have filled the space. This image of calm belied the absence of the people who created it. With a sense of foreboding, they began radioing in, marking the site as a priority. As the last light faded from the sky, the campsite morphed from a peaceful escape into a disquieting scene of mystery. Meanwhile, back at her home, Chloe paced the floor, her worries spiraling into a whirlwind of despair. The rangers' voices rang in her ears, their reassurances twisted by the gruesome possibilities she tried to suppress. After the initial assessment, a team of county sheriff deputies joined the investigation, the delicate fabric of hope becoming threadbare with each passing hour. Chloe sent a text to the group chat she shared with her sister and Marcus, try and maintain contact with the world outside their adventure. "Just checking in. We're worried. Please let us know you're okay." The unanswered messages consumed her with uncomfortable possibilities. As morning broke, the campsite transformed once again, the bright sun bathing everything in light, but Chloe's heartbreak was tinged with shadows. She felt powerless, longing for information, any scrap that would ease a gnawing fear. On the ground, the investigation intensified. A search team was organized, and dogs trained for tracking were brought in. The vastness of Joshua Tree was daunting, each crevice and canyon holding the promise of unexpected discoveries. This area of the park was less traveled, and while it held secrets, it also held dangers for the unprepared. Ropes and harnesses were readied, planning for climbs and deep treks into rocky terrains while helicopters scoured the skies. Every moment weighed heavy on Chloe, each tick of the clock reminding her of the precious time missing. Days turned to weeks, and despite the ongoing search, there was no sign of Jenna and Marcus. Chloe felt a relentless ache of grief, intertwined with frustration and guilt. Had she been too worried? Should she have insisted they camp closer to the main trails? Each thought was a thorn, piercing her over and over again. The detective work that followed revealed glimpses into the couple's lives, their hopes, dreams, and the aspirations they had for their family. Marcus was well-liked in their small community. His friendliness left a trail of well-wishers and concern. But the desert had a way of hiding what it took, leaving only the ghosts of the past. As investigators scoured through records, they found glimpses of their online presence. Local hiking forums that discussed favorite spots and tips for camping amid the natural wonders of Joshua Tree. The couple had been well prepared, documenting each adventure, but they were also painfully aware of the risks. The sheer reality of their disappearance gnawed at the edges of the narrative, becoming a haunting refrain. Time slipped on like a slow river, every day stretching into the next, yet nothing changed. With every sunset, Chloe was left carrying light from her phone into the dark, praying for a missed call, a text, anything to break the haunting silence. In the interim, gatherings began to form the community, vigils for Jenna and Marcus that brought warmth amid the cold reality. Friends, family, and even strangers came together, sharing memories, laughter, and tears. They created a web of support for Chloe, but the weight of grief hung heavy, the threads of their lives fraying under the weight of uncertainty. Meanwhile, the search parties continued their effort, hoping against hope that the desert would yield something. The land, vast and harsh, became an emotional landscape for many, reminding them of their own vulnerabilities and the fragile nature of life. Then one afternoon, exactly 3 weeks after they had last been seen, a hiker stumbled across a disturbing sight while wandering a remote section of the park. In the sandy terrain, something protruded, obscured, almost like the desert was trying to hide its secrets. The hiker, filled with unease, approached cautiously, brushing away the sands to reveal 2 personal items, a backpack and a camping chair. The gear told a story of survival, a narrative that had shifted from warmth and laughter to confusion and captivity in the unforgiving wilderness. This discovery sent shockwaves through the investigation. The rangers, now joined by detectives, were drawn back to evidence the previous search had overlooked. Suddenly, the timeline shifted forward, revealing a desperate need for answers that had been buried beneath the sands of time. As investigators converged on the new findings, Chloe was informed. Her heart pounded in her chest, every beat echoing with vulnerability and fear. What would this mean? What had happened to Jenna and Marcus during those harrowing days? The rangers carefully secured the area, knowing that every piece of evidence mattered now more than ever. They combed through everything, the torn remnants of clothing, fragments of the camping gear, every footprint analyzed in painstaking detail. The narrative that had once been one of simple adventure now swirled with the weight of darkness, weaving into an intricate tapestry of what could have happened. Was it an accident? Had they succumbed to the elements? Or was there something much more sinister at play? Questions hung in the air like lingering smoke, leaving a bitter aftertaste of fear and uncertainty. As days passed and investigations deepened, more pieces began to fall into place, revealing the complexity of the case. Witnesses began to surface, some claiming to have seen Marcus and Jenna in passing, others recalling suspicious activity on paths traversed by tourists. Chloe clung to hope, fueled by the collective determination of everyone involved. Each detail that emerged held the potential of sparking answers, rekindling a faint glow of possibility amid the whispers of despair. This string of discoveries wove through the community, every conversation filled with urgency, every face reflecting the shared burden of the unknown. Part 9. The descent as investigators continue to trace leads and unravel mysteries. Darkness loomed closer. The media caught wind of the unfolding drama, amplifying the story of the missing couple, intensifying the sense of urgency felt by all. Chloe found herself thrust into the spotlight, her grief becoming a poignant tale woven with threads of resilience and love. Time blurred as she navigated the pressure, her heart aching with each camera flash, each pair of eyes filled with sympathy. Despite the tumult, Chloe held steadfast her desire to find her sister. Her purpose became a beacon, guiding her through the storm of emotions. Gathering community support, they created search parties to comb through trails in the fading light, accompanied by the hum of hope threading through their shared resolve. Then, a break, one small step culminating from weeks of investigation. A vital witness stepped forward. "I saw them," the hiker said, voice trembling as he recalled the day they disappeared. They were near the rock formations, and then his voice faltered as he described the moments leading up to the couple's last known sighting. Investigators listened closely. The incident painted a haunting scene. Patterns, choices, paths taken that diverged from the planned route and brought them deeper into the wilderness. With the new information, rangers retraced the steps, leading them to hidden crevices and rocky outcrops. As the days melded into one another, a shift in the air became palpable, every moment teetering between hope and despair. By the end of the week, they had narrowed the search area and discovered overlooked pathways leading to nearby canyons. Chloe clung to the prospect of finding Jenna and Marcus, the love she poured into every prayer resonating with others who shared her heartache. Then came the moment that would define everything, the moment where fate could sway in any direction. A group of hikers in an isolated area stumbled upon something, an emblem, a hint, broken pieces that hinted at more than nature's erratic touch. They found a small personal item, a bracelet, colorful and unique. It resonated with memories of family gatherings and laughter, a reminder that life continued beyond the desert's silent embrace. It ignited a firestorm of emotions, every person involved sharing a moment of hope, concern, and desperation. The authorities were notified, and as more evidence emerged, the atmosphere thrummed with intention. Would this lead to closure or a path fraught with more questions? Chloe's heart pulsed with anticipation. As the authorities processed these new threads, the intricacies of the case began to weave together. Witness accounts filled in gaps, and investigators began forming a coherent picture of what might have happened. Detectives found patterns in the stories of nearby campers, tracing overlaps and coincidences in conversations that now surfaced. As investigators delved deeper, a dark undercurrent began to surface, marked by peculiar sightings, suspicious encounters, and unexplained motifs. The past weeks had given shape to something beyond an adventure gone wrong, an elusive, enigmatic figure lurking in the shadows. Chloe sat through briefings, her heart racing as detectives pieced together stories that emerged around campgrounds and hiking trails, stories that spoke of strange sightings and unusual circumstances during the time of Jenna and Marcus's disappearance. The tightening noose, once merely speculation, transformed into a tangible reality, a potential connection to something bigger than any one person could fathom. The community rallied around them, a collective seeking answers against the backdrop of Joshua Tree's haunting beauty. As days turned into weeks, Chloe found herself oscillating between despair and hope. Each fresh lead offered a glimmer of promise, but also brought a wave of heartache, with its inevitable challenges. Through it all, she became a voice for the missing, as her unwavering determination sparked a movement within the community. Social media campaigns thrived, spreading awareness of the mystery surrounding Jenna and Marcus, urging anyone with information to come forward. By now, the investigation was saturated with emotion, anger, sorrow, and an unyielding desire to uncover the truth. As the heat of summer began to fade into fall, the promise of a clearer sky mirrored the sense of urgency growing amongst those united in purpose. Chloe dedicated herself to this journey, and every whisper of new potential kept her motivated. She reinvigorated her determination with the influx of support from friends, family, and strangers fueled by their shared desire for justice. Then came a breakthrough. Details surfaced involving reports and sightings that suggested further leads in previously unexplored areas. For every piece of the puzzle that fell into place, Chloe felt the riptides of hope flooding through her veins. In the weeks that followed, the investigation meticulously unraveled more details, Unsolved cases intertwined with whispers of hidden truths. Each day became a stepping stone toward clarity, a commitment to unravel the threads that held people captive in a mystery beyond comprehension. And then the day came. The day they traced the whispers and footsteps back to where stories converged, a hidden area not far from where Jenna and Marcus had last been seen. As the sun broke through the clouds, illuminating the rugged paths, Chloe's heart raced. With every twist and turn, memories echoed, the canvas of their lives painting the story that would either lead to their reunion or a harsh realization. In her heart, she held tight to hope, refusing to let despair creep in. They stood outside the campsite, tension thick in the air as they gathered to acknowledge the moment, sharing memories of laughter, joy, and their cherished adventure. And as investigators combed through the brush, they caught something glimmering in the shifting grip of the desert sun. That singular moment transformed everything. The search team stilled as they unearthed remnants of fabric. The fabric Jenna had worn, entwined with earth and sand. It signaled a shift, not a conclusion, but a path toward unearthing potential truth. Each tiny fragment brought clarity, connecting dots that had previously eluded understanding. And with that clarity, the emotional weight shifted significantly, the rare, fateful encounter embracing the evolving narrative of what had transpired. Investigators meticulously documented each detail, piecing together a framework of events leading to that fateful moment of silence, which lingered infinitely in the desert air. Chloe's heart raced between hope and despair as whispers filled the void. What happened to her beloved sister and brother-in-law? Each passing day filled with questions, but also an unwavering sense of faith and purpose fueled the search boat. The days that followed brought the community together in a way no one could have anticipated. As Chloe finally began to feel closure washing over her waves of emotion, she saw tangible change. The search not just for her sister, but for everyone who had faced the darkness. Through unity, they reframed the narrative, turning it into one of love and resilience, a commitment to honor Jenna and Marcus, either by rekindling hope or by ensuring that no one would feel alone in their own struggles. This drama became more than just a search. It transformed into a rallying cry for compassion, understanding, and community strength, echoing far beyond the confines of Joshua Tree. With the swift changes in their narrative came a resurgence of difficulty as they began to reconstruct lives shaken but not broken. The sun began to shine once again, a gentle reminder that even in the depths of despair, growth could emerge. As the investigation pressed on, those who remained found solace in enduring spirit compassion, banding together for future generations. Each person bore the responsibility to share stories, memorialize the lives of those they loved, and cultivate conscious connections as they navigated life's unpredictable twists. Chloe found herself stepping into a role bigger than one she had ever imagined. Her voice became one of the many weaving through hearts and minds across the community, spreading knowledge and fostering understanding. Through honest conversations and shared experiences, she aimed to keep the legacy of her sister alive, ensuring Jenna and Marcus would not be just memories but enduring figures pushing for change. As the seasons shifted, the waves of grief began to settle to the ocean floor, transformed by the union of community and resilience. Each person who worked alongside Chloe became a lighthouse on the darkened shores, guiding funneled energies towards something that transcended singular loss. The legacy of the Dingers became an anthem of hope that sang through the air, a testament to the power of connection, eliciting empathy and igniting inspiration even through harrowing times. Each anniversary of their absence became a day of remembrance, not just for tragedy, but for the bonds forged to aid healing in a world that often felt chaotic. Through remembrance and boundless love, Chloe began her journey anew, picking up the threads of life as she breathed in the lessons learned along the way. The wilderness she once feared now held a promise, a mean towards transformation, this untamed beauty that held both darkness and light. As years passed, the impact of what had transpired transformed the landscape of the community. The place where they had once vanished grew arms, expanding into pockets of compassion and understanding that enriched countless lives. In Chloe's heart, the love for her sister intertwined with the belief that even amidst the tumult, beauty could arise from the ashes. The couple who had once ventured into the wild had grown into the very roots of community, their legacy etched forever within the hearts of those who fought to remember and hold on. And with every sunset over the desert, Chloe stood firm by the campfire, arms wide open, embracing the chaos and beauty. Those who ventured into the warmth knew that no matter how far gone, they would always be guided home.